Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am the man with the unkempt hair, Eric, your bartender, and the OSR Tenkar. How's that for a nice long introduction?
Nice.
There we go. And with me, as always, on our Saturday night, is none other than my lovely wife, Rachel.
Hello.
So we were discussing show topics, and one of the things that we are going to discuss is like this is now my 2+ weeks on the medication. One of the many medications with the made up names, Moonjaro. Sounds it sounds like a Robin Williams movie. Oh, that was Jumanji.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
All right. Well,
I didn't know what that was though.
I was close. So in any case, it seems to be doing my blood sugar really well. My average over the last week, I think it's like 115. My 90-day average is 146, so you can see roughly a 30-point drop in my blood sugar, which is spot on. However, there's always a however. A little noisy with it, not a lot. It's pretty much when you're not thinking, when you're not doing anything that you realize, oh, I got a little nausea there in the back of my head, my gut, and a lot of heartburn. Not was worse the first first week, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's still a repeated heartburn. So it's just one of those trials and tribulations you got to go through, I guess, to get to better numbers. It's
What sucks, side effects are like a tax that you pay. Like, am I willing to have a little heartburn to have my blood sugar be a certain way?
And I took some Tums, so if I start belching on the show, it's because the heartburn is turning into gas. And our choices are I belch it out or Rach suffers if it comes out of my ass. We don't want Rach suffering. She has enough of that when she has to sleep next to me, and I have that issue. It's like, oh my god. Sorry. I just a little giddly. So, tomorrow, believe it or not, Rach and I are going to our first in-person football game.
Yes.
At was it MetLife Stadium? I guess no longer.
No, is it MetLife or Meadowlands?
Well, it used to be the Meadowlands. I think it's MetLife Stadium.
Oh, I guess so.
In the Meadowlands. It used to be Giants Stadium, but now it's officially like used for Giants and Jets. So it is no longer Giants Stadium. It is now MetLife Stadium. So it's our first in-person football game. So this is the Pub Refugee Group or Pub Refugee Club. This is what we are doing with our old hangout people. So it's 4 of us going. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm the designated driver. I know. There's people out there going, what? Tenkar is going to be the designated driver? Yes. Given a choice of taking some kind of mass transit or a cab or driving, I'd rather drive. And if that means no alcohol, it's okay. I got a game I can watch tomorrow night and have a few beers with. That'll be fine. I'll just do it in the privacy of my own home. So
I won't be drinking really either
because God, I just got some PM in the in the Discord channel. Somebody's complaining about players being called degenerates. I will have to deal with this crap after the live stream.
Oh.
Unless, usually Laramie takes care of it, but he might be at work or something. Or doing something important.
Well, I hope degenerate is a step up for some of the folks.
Well, it is what it is. But somebody took offense to it. It just popped up on my screen, so it's like,
yeah, I saw something.
Yeah, it's like, ugh. The responsibilities never end, folks. They never end. So, aside from that, we have Rach is continuing her weight loss. So it's it was another pound this week, pound and a half.
Yeah, so I think it's 26.
That's amazing. And it's 26 in addition to working out. So you're toning and losing So the actual amount of fat loss compared to muscle gain is going to be a nice little.
And something that happened for me this week. This is kind of a good topic too. Even though you've changed your behavior and have been working on your overall health, sometimes things don't always get right away. So what happened this week, well, they drew my blood again,
different doctor
at my primary care, and I was very happy to see that my TSH level is normal. So it was 1 point something, so I was pumped and happy about that. But I had really high triglycerides, and not sure why that is, whether that's because of like my thyroid issue, because that can happen, and then also like because I've been losing weight, like the metabolism goes down anyway, so there's not really fully a place for the triglycerides to go. So they gave me a month to address it with diet, and if it doesn't
change,
then they'll do something with medication, which is fine, absolutely fine. Just like I also had high sugar, which I don't really eat sugar, but I guess.
Listen, Rach and I are.
And this was I got 125 on a fasting blood work, so I don't know why, but whatever, it is what it is. If they want to medicate that shit too, go right ahead. I'm pretty open to
what was
things that are gonna help me.
What was your A1C?
I didn't see that on there.
What, but in the prior one didn't have an A1C?
No.
Because the A1, they're gonna have...
The A1C tells you straight away.
Yeah.
And even the endocrine didn't take the A1C, which is odd.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. But we'll just do whatever. I just trying to do the next best thing, and I ordered the fish oil, the omega 3,
the mega red.
Yeah. So I think that's good, but it's always good to remember that it took me a long time to score these high triglycerides and have a medical consequence because of my weight. Just because I'm doing the right thing working in the right direction since May doesn't mean that having everything be good
is going to happen immediately.
Is going to happen. Yeah. So it's just like any other like addiction or something. There are consequences to it, and sometimes they show up later.
Well, it's a bit of a tale.
Yeah.
It's you're here and you're doing what you're doing here, but there are aspects that are going to be slow in catching up.
Right. And does it make it not worth doing? Not at all. It just means that you keep doing what you're doing because I've seen success with it.
Yes.
And it just, if there's something else that could help me, I'll be open. So.
Yeah, I know with my...
But I do need to take the responsibility, because they say with the triglycerides, you have to be careful with alcohol, so I wouldn't drink tomorrow. I would just have a couple of drinks on Tuesday,
Okay. When we do the...
Yeah.
I can't make Rach my designated driver.
No, sorry.
I thought about it, and then it's like, we're not going to go anywhere.
We'd be on public transport.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, well. It was worth a try.
How do you go in Port Authority?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's a boss.
Oh, excuse me. So, like with me, like my concern often when I go to my doctor's office, especially my cardiologist, he wants my cholesterol level low. I think I mentioned this last week, but I have a blocked artery.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't afford to have any more blockage, basically.
Yeah.
So healthy cholesterol is under 100. I'm supposed to be under 70. 25.
So you have, I guess, you have multiple measures with your cholesterol. So like,
Yes.
I have my HDL, my LDL, and then the triglycerides. So this is something that's good. My HDL and my LDL are now within normal limits. So that was progress.
Right.
But the triglycerides shot up. So,
You know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You
yeah,
have,
so we'll see when I go in a month's time.
yeah, you just have to literally adjust. I mean, this is it. I mean, where I was, I'm thinking to myself early today, I'm like, wow, it's probably time to reserve a room at TotalCon, sign up for TotalCon. Coming up in February, we're getting close.
Yeah.
And TotalCon said, and I'm not blaming TotalCon. Don't get anybody he's blaming Total.
There's definitely an association that we have because that's when he first started to get sick.
Right. It's when I had the upper respiratory infection where I couldn't, and one of those, I couldn't walk long distances, and I couldn't walk short distances, but it led to pneumonia, sepsis, which led to hospitalization, which led to congestive heart failure, which led to 3 stents plus one 2 weeks later, and then earlier this year, stent number 5. I got a handful of stents. You got to keep it real. But I am healthier now. If you see me now and you saw me, I don't know, 2.5 years ago, I am healthier now. I am eating better. I am exercising better. So now on the exercise front, Rach wants to get a treadmill. So what's going to happen? A lot of our exercise that we've been getting in has been walking. And as the weather gets cold, we're going to want to do less walking. Additionally, a lot of the walking involves the dog. The problem with walking the dog and the time isn't necessarily the snow or the cold, it's the salt. The salt that's used as an ice melt does damage to their paws. It can hurt, be painful.
Yeah, it stings. She'll like pick up her paw and
just say,
lift me because I'm not walking.
Yeah. So we're looking at treadmills that you can fold up. When we decide on one, we will share it. Maybe we'll take some pictures of it. Let you give you a review, an actual review of its use. But we've got a few that we're looking at. We're going to hold off on pulling the trigger though until
we see what's going on for Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday, especially on Amazon, a lot of deep discounts, and you never know exactly what's going to be. That's the whole point, right? It was different when I was working retail. Oh my God, back in the late 80s or early to mid 90s, because all your Black Friday shopping was done in person. It was an insane day to work, which is why I never shopped it, because I was always working it. But now you can do your Black Friday shopping from home. You do it from your phone, your computer.
Yeah.
So when
you can enjoy it.
So if we find certain things that are going to be interesting for Black Friday and the announcements don't come out until earlier that week, we'll put out a special newsletter.
Oh, so we'll have to put some of the things that we have already, like
if they're on sale,
maybe power blocks, because that's been something I've been playing with more.
Right. Now,
and that's something that's really good. But it's pricey-ish.
Yeah.
So if you can get a Black Friday deal on something like that, that's great.
These are things that
power blocks, TRX.
Yeah, during the early days of COVID, you could not find any exercise equipment.
Yeah.
It was impossible. And when I found the power blocks go on sale, it was actually on a Woot. I was like, I got to get them. And I snagged them. And when they were delivered, I'm not sure if it was FedEx or UPS, they didn't even bring up the whole front staircase.
Really?
Yeah, no, they dropped it. They left it on it.
On the landing?
On the landing, not the porch. Because they were heavy. And I don't care.
I remember when we got this bike.
Yeah, the bike
that was like they were like, hi,
yeah, I can't.
It's here.
It's here. I'm leaving in front of your house.
Yeah, exactly. There's stairs. I'm not going.
Yeah. It's like we had to take it in piece by piece.
Oh man, that was crazy.
Thank God it wasn't raining. But these are the things you had. Black Friday. honestly, I know people say, "Hey, we do our New Year's resolutions." New Year's resolutions don't mean shit. Okay, you should be thinking about what you want to do to address your health, whatever your deficits are, around now, mid-November, because that way maybe you can have a few things on your wish list on Amazon
Oh, right, because
or
it's about
Walmart.
the preparation process. Like
Right,
through when you look at the process of how people build motivation for change or motivation towards things that they care about. There's usually like a preparation process that's there. Like once you determine this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do, there's the process of like sort of preparation. And so preparation means what are the things that I need to have around me in order to have success with this change or with this new thing that I'm jumping into.
right.
Whether that's that you want to podcast, whether that's that you want to start a YouTube channel or things like that. What do you need around you to be able to make it a success or to also to make it enjoyable for yourself
Yeah. So,
and keep it exciting?
but like we're saying, prep it ahead of time. If this stuff you want to start for the new year, don't wait for the new year to figure out what you're going to do. You're going to want to make the investment when, especially in today's economy, you want to make
Yeah.
that investment when you can get it for, generally speaking, a lower price. I mean, I should probably link this, and maybe I will in our newsletter. But one of the channels that we watch on YouTube is the Deal Guy,
Oh
and
yeah.
Matt
Matt
Granite.
Granny.
And listen, he is full of energy, and God bless him.
He's adorable.
But I think he used to work for a local
A local news
news
or
channel.
sports thing.
Yeah. So, but he's great because he will discuss things that you wouldn't necessarily have thought of, and it's not just like going to Costco or Walmart or Amazon buys or I don't know, deals. But he does bring up a lot of stuff. He'll be doing Black Friday stuff, so he's going to be somebody that you should probably take a look at because
He covers a lot of
he
ground.
covers a lot of ground. You might want to pause some of his shit, and especially because we watch it on our big screen TV, and I'll probably need to have my computer in the back and the side going. And I go, oh, take that one. Let me go onto the video and find it so I can find the link and
Right, and the Amazon they're supposed to let us know when the thing goes on the sale.
right. If we have a couple of treadmills that we have put on our wish list, so if they go on sale, we should have an idea. Again, these are there in years past when we weren't looking at inflation rates that are like the
Double
highest,
digits.
like the highest in 40 years, and that's nothing. That's nothing for anyone to brag about. Okay, in politics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that when you're dealing with inflation rates like that, you have to do things that are cost conscious, I should say. So I think that's one of the
So
things.
that you can get the best thing for your money.
Right. I mean, and there've been. I used to be like all over Black Friday stuff. In the last couple of years, I haven't been as much. And now this year, I'm like, you know what? I'm holding off on buying things to see what will pop up on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday doesn't always seem to be all that great, but
Yeah, that's true.
You need to pinch your pennies, and that's one of the ways you can do so in the holiday season. Now, what we do, I subscribe to a mailing list from I guess 13 Deals, and I get two or three emails a day from them, plus a text message, and people are going to go, "Oh my god, way too much." You know what? You find deals on stuff that sometimes are things like a little magnetic stress balls that you can, do whatever with.
Oh wow.
I know, Rich is like,
You're taking
you're
it
taking it apart. This
Mm-hmm.
thing is so entertaining. I had one in the past that wasn't like rainbow colored, But
the fact that it's rainbow colors makes it even so much better.
yeah, so I
Because
ordered.
you can do patterns and
Yeah, so I ordered.
just cool shit with it.
I ordered two, and I got one for myself, got one for Rach, and I didn't even know if Rach would want it. I was like, "Hey, Rach, you want? Check this out." And
I was like, hell yeah.
so, but a lot of
It's a
times
new fidget toy.
throughout the year, and I now I understand my mother's mentality a lot better than when I was younger. Throughout the year, when I find stuff and I go, "Oh, that's a nice leather computer bag," and it's a great pro. You know
Oh
what?
yeah, we jumped on those.
We jumped on it. Now, in case somebody's watching, I'm not going to say where the bag is
Who's
going,
getting it?
but this is stuff that you go.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait to buy it when you know when they're, it's like, oh well, I'm buying it in July, and Christmas isn't until December. Well, yeah, I understand that, but if I buy it in July, I'm probably getting it for half of what I'd be getting it later.
Right, because they just mark you up for
Right.
Christmas.
Well,
Mark it down.
Right, and not only that though,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to keep your eyes out open throughout the year, especially if you're in a family that does a lot of gifting.
Well, that and then it's funny because like when you watch Matt Granite, he'll say, "Oh, well, now is not the time to buy mattresses. Mattresses go on the best sale at this time of year." You know,
Yes,
so it's always
very insightful.
yeah.
And if he does a Costco episode, he'll tell you what all those symbols mean
Right,
on
like the
the sale.
asterisk
Yeah,
means
and,
it's going up out of there,
yeah,
and you're not gonna be able to get it again. So grab everything you can right then.
yeah. It's some very interesting stuff. So again, when we talk about even like buying better foods, better, more appropriate foods, we're going to learn now that since our pub is closed and they had good food,
Yeah.
but we're going to be saving money because we're going to be cooking at home more. It's an inadvertent forced money savings. Not a bad deal, especially when your money isn't going as far as it used to be.
Yeah.
Now, I think that we've all heard people say, always, if you got a choice about buying vegetables, always buy fresh, right? They will say, buy fresh produce. But from what I've read and for what I've seen,
Yeah.
buy frozen. Because frozen is, for most vegetables, you're going to get a better quality vegetable than you're going to get fresh for less frozen. Not talking canned. And kitty, don't fall off your perch. Damn you. So so these are little things like I am not the I don't collect coupons, and we get them at our local supermarket, and we go, oh, these are good ones, and we forget to bring them the next time. I am
I don't even know where they go.
I know they probably go through a wash in my pocket, but
no, I'm not pulling anything out of there.
But here's the thing: in today's world, where prices are generally exceeding any raises you're seeing at work, assume you are seeing any raises you might be seeing on, I don't know, your government benefits or your retirement check. My retirement check won't see any changes in it until I hit 62. I don't get cost of living until that point. So, John Dave, I think your time is the most valuable thing you have. So don't waste too much time trying to save a bit. Time that can be spent investing, and that's true too.
That's quite true.
You can make savings, like I said.
Like we wouldn't put off getting the treadmill. Like say Black Friday comes around and there's not anything on sale. There's no deal. It doesn't mean we're going to forego the treadmill.
Right.
We need that for our health and safety.
Right. Now, there are certain plugins you can use in your browser. Like we use Honey. Or I use Honey.
I have it, but I haven't really understood that it's helped that much in certain places.
Well, Honey doesn't necessarily. It helps on a large selection of websites where I've gotten some money back. And hey, if you get like over the course of the year $150 back from shopping online, that's found money. That's like walking down the street finding $150 and going, nobody's looking,
that's
right?
True.
I'll take it. But it also allows you to, like for Amazon, it'll show you this item that's now priced at $349 was $379 3 weeks ago. So it's gone down. So maybe you're getting a good price. Or you can see the item's price went up, and then you go, all right, maybe I got to wait and see if it goes down again. So these apps that's not penny wise, pound foolish, or it's not a waste of time. That's having this app do it for you. I can look and in 2 seconds go, oh, well, maybe I need to wait. Certain things you're not going to wait on. Right? Certain things you need. If we're running out of kitty litter, we need kitty litter. We're running out of cat food or dog food. We need the dog food. And if you've been going to, we used to go to Pet Supplies Plus a lot for our pet food. Those shelves have been, in some cases, relatively bare. The supermarket certainly has had bare. Oh, of course. Honey is certainly tracking and selling my data. There's a price to the savings.
Yeah.
There's always a price. Nothing in this world is free. Okay? Well, unless it's a free PDF on, like, drive-through. But yeah, when it comes to online, things like that, they're always tracking you, but so is everybody else. And with at least Honey is going to give me a little back on it. Listen, Capital One has a similar plugin, which will also compare prices at different locations. Oh yeah, John, if you want to, you can always use a VPN. VPNs vary in how good they are. I find sometimes VPNs annoy the shit out of me because when I try to do things like log into my bank and I figure out the VPN on, I can't log into my bank because my bank's not recognizing me.
Oh.
So sometimes it's a pain in the ass. But it's also been having a VPN.
Well, I guess you have to be intentional about how you use it.
Yeah, a VPN was great though when I wanted to catch certain things on Netflix that weren't in the USA. So before HBO started having all the DC stuff, if I wanted to watch Titans, if I didn't want to pay another subscription, I would go and just switch my VPN to Ireland, Germany, and then I could actually watch Titans. I don't know why I was so concerned about watching Titans. It wasn't great. It was popcorn. It was kind of like it was teen edgy superheroes. You didn't? I think you'd actually enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think
my teeny bopper mentality.
Not because when I say teen, I'm not talking about young teen. I'm talking about that 18 to 20-ish.
Oh, young adult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, when I think young adult, I think like preteens. Like, oh, look at the young adult novel.
No, different.
Okay. Well,
they call it tween now. Shannon, tween.
I need to be educated. Yes, give and take to all. Yeah, this is all. It's all a balancing act. Even getting healthier is a balancing act, right? Yeah. Because it's a give and take. It's like, all right, what do I like, and what can't I give up? Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to give up even the stuff that's on your I can never give it up list. But sometimes,
and you just maybe move it there gradually,
right? You take it out gradually. It's going to moderation first. Right, I'm not gonna pig out on
or maybe even
enjoy.
Yeah, or just like having like it was certain things, like maybe taking a day and not having that if you're someone who like has certain things every day. And what is that day like for you when you don't have it?
Right. So, I mean, and it's finding substitutions.
Mm-hmm.
So in our case, listen, I love, I don't know how well, Entenmann's is certainly a New York staple. And I used to be able to get the Entenmann's chocolate cake with the chocolate icing, get a quart of milk, ice cold, eat a whole cake.
The coffee cake or the
banana crunch. God. So now, hey, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I'm trying to bring my blood sugar down. I'm trying to get my A1C under control. And my weight, I can't be doing that. But Duncan Hines makes keto cake mixes that are surprisingly good.
And there's other places, other keto companies that make cake mixes. We're going to be trying some of those soon.
Right. So John says that, yeah, you can eat as a hobby and feel like junk later, or eat as a chore and feel well to do something else. There's a balance to that.
That's
but you don't want eating necessarily to be a chore. Although if you gave me a choice of saying, hey, I'm going to put a good plate of food in front of you, or give you a very tasty drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, I would go for the drink 4 to 5 times because I like that texture, that feeling of something ice cold than above even a good slice of pizza or a nice pasta dish or a delicious hamburger. That's
the
just
pizza would win out.
Make eating boring and life exciting. Vice versa. You can make your eating healthy foods more exciting than it would be as it's planned. I don't want to. It's hard to motivate somebody to say, "Hey, you got to eat healthy, and it's going to taste like you're eating shit," or whatever. When you can say, "Hey, I'm going to show you how to eat healthy," and now maybe it's on the healthy scale, it's not A plus, maybe it's B plus, A minus, but you'll still enjoy it as opposed to eating the D minus that you were or the F that you were eating before. You gotta. My experience is I had done the Atkins diet back in the day. I think most of us who have struggled with weight did Atkins back in the 90s or early aughts, and I certainly lost weight on the Atkins diet because I was working evenings. Well, I was actually working 6 to 2, so 5:30 to 2 a.m. And I would get up and I would have eggs and sausage for breakfast, maybe cheese. I would then, for my lunch, go down to their Chinese restaurant and get the chicken with broccoli, steamed, no rice, and hot sauce. So I would eat the chicken and broccoli, no sauce. And then at work, I would get like, I don't know, the Sun Jims with cheese, like 2 or 3 of them for my dinner in the patrol car. And I lost weight. I also was popping Stacker left and right to keep myself. If you don't know what Stacker was, God bless you.
Stacker 2.
Stacker 3.
There was 3?
Stacker 3 too, yeah. And Stacker wound up having things that were causing people to have heart attacks in it. And
I never tried it.
I'll be honest with you. That's probably the one thing in my life that I have ever been addicted to the point where I was like, fuck that, I need this shit. And was still looking for it after it was taken off the market because it kept me energized because I didn't have the food in me to keep me energized. I had this caffeine and ephedra going to keep me energized. So the problem with eating a diet like Atkins is the rebound. Okay, because most people, not all, or I should say most, many
a lot
people,
of us can't really stay in.
Yeah, there's a rebound effect to that, and the rebound effect put me at the weight I was at plus like I don't know 10 pounds.
Yeah,
which
is normal.
Yeah, which was not what I needed to do. So what?
But something that he talks about, I think in John's previous share too, like there's the idea of make it boring to eat. Like there's like a behavioral change kind of thing. Like so there's like reward associated with eating certain meals. Like like we have like nice desserts or like really good snacks that we look forward to. And yes, we would miss them if they weren't there. But I think he's saying like make it boring so that you can loosen the attachment to just constantly eating nice things that, it doesn't always have to be like bam in terms of taste, so that this way you can loosen that fixation on the food.
You're spot on. By the way, because I think the best diet is just only eat things that have 1 or 2 ingredients listed on the package.
Yes.
So I am.
So your body knows what it is.
Yeah, because that's what you meant. Don't sneak enjoyment from food.
Yes.
See, like I am somebody like when I do my cooking when I'm cooking chicken, I have a spice rack that is insane. And it is a low sodium to sodium free spice rack because we both, I have a heart condition. Rach has high blood pressure, so we try to avoid extra salt. And I will try to flavor up whatever we are having. So, you don't feel like you're missing out on whatever the good yet fast food that we're not having is. You
Mm-hmm.
know, do like we do we eat like clean keto? Like, are we keto? No. Do I shop and look for keto stuff because I know it'll be less carbs for me? Because that's important in my diet. Yes, but am I strictly keto? No, I'm not going into ketosis. I'm not doing any of that
He
stuff.
doesn't have the strips. He doesn't check the
Yeah, I don't.
urine.
Yeah. White guy with a spice rack is as rare as a unicorn, perhaps, and it certainly was before I got hospitalized. When I came out of the hospital after my congestive heart failure with 3 stints plus one coming in 2 weeks after, uh, the first thing I did, actually I think I did this from the hospital room.
You ordered that stuff.
Yeah, I was ordering spice,
Flavor God.
Flavor God, and other because I was like, if I am going to be making healthy meals, I want to have the opportunity to make a good flavor, make them flavorful. Now, for a while, we were doing Home Chef,
Mm-hmm.
and Home Chef it's uncooked meals, fresh ingredients. I had one major issue with them, and that is on more than one occasion, my I had to throw out the meat
That
because
sucks.
they didn't put enough freezer bags, cooler bags
Oh, during the hot.
during the hot, and it was just like when the meat came at room temperature, I was like, that's it, throwing it out. But it gave me a lot of recipes to work from. But what I would do, and I realized this after the first meal I made with them, I used their seasoning package, and I went right from what they had, and I was like, well, that was good seasoning, but I could taste the salt
Mm-hmm.
because we had cut salt out of our diet so much that it was like, what is this? So what I would then do is I would open up the seasoning package or whatever it said, and it's like in the movies when you see them testing cocaine. Which, by the way, you never see law enforcement never. Oh yeah, that's pure cocaine or pure heroin. No,
Well,
nobody.
no, I said they put it on their lip, and if their lip goes numb, they know it's
Yeah,
cocaine.
nobody's doing that shit. Nobody's doing that. But I would take it.
That's not how it works.
No,
Oh.
but I would put it on my tongue and go, all right.
Well,
now,
yeah, because you don't need a positive tox on your dog.
No, I don't. But now it would make a difference anyway. But I was like, so I would go and I would go to my spice rack and go, all right, that looks a lot like my Caribbean. Let me taste my Caribbean. Oh, you know what? That's close, but it needs a little garlic. And I mix up my own concoction to come within 90% of the original without the salt, without the sodium.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like a little mad scientist working this stuff out. It's just yeah, David. I always feel quality isn't up to snuff and the portions are too small. I just steal the recipes and make your own version. Well,
Yeah.
the recipes are good.
Well, it was a good learning thing.
And I'll be honest with you. Now we actually do Factor 75 for 3 meals each a week, and Factor is prepared. He's gonna heat it up in a microwave. It tastes as good as the home chef meals without me spending 30 to 50 minutes making it. So it's great for those days where you don't have. Do I go on my phone and do Uber Eats, or do we eat one of our meals? Let's eat healthy, one of our meals, as opposed to when you have time to cook and get everything ready. So I've been very pleased with it. The only thing is I'm not accumulating like recipes because I made some of those recipes myself, and man, they were as good as, if not better than when I was getting the ingredients.
But we have a binder.
Well, my yes, we do.
We can repeat some.
I know. I think I gave away some of my best fish recipes to my sis. I don't think I ever got them back.
Oh, really?
Yes. What's the most money you ever seen someone carrying while working? Okay. All right. So that's a good one. All right. So gotta think back.
Nobody ever came into treatment because of like having like and hiding money.
Well, this guy wasn't.
Sometimes they came in with a lot of drugs that you couldn't take them because there was too many, and you had to notify parole or whatever. But Money? They never really came with
All right.
money. If you were coming into rehab or treatment, usually money was gone and you were in pretty serious dire straits.
So I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure this was I was probably early winter 2020. So we're on patrol. It was a cold ass day, and we see this SUV. It's parked, but the lights are on. The engine is running. Even the interior lights are on. Go figure. And we slowly drive by because it's a one-way street, and as we pass it, the cop I'm with is like, "Holy shit!" I go, "He stops." He what? He goes, "The driver is slumped over the wheel of his car, his SUV." So I'm like, "Shit!" All right, we go up, and he's like, and we look in, and there's this paper bag full of cash right next to him.
Was he in a nod?
He was in more than a nod. He had I think like 3 or 4 bundles. Each one is 100 decks of heroin plus the open deck of heroin that he just snorted on his dashboard. So I'm like, Dave, is he even fucking alive? He's like,
yeah, you'd be like,
yeah,
come in with the Narcan. And they're like,
well,
get out of here.
Rach, it's way before Narcan.
Oh, okay.
So doors weren't locked. We open up the door, shake him. He's alive.
Oh,
He's alive. So I was like, dude, you got to step out. He's step him out, cuff him up. He had, I think it was 12 grand in cash, plus, I guess,
the heroin.
Heroin, which is like 399 decks because he was testing the one. Plus, he was wearing solid gold jewelry, like the Jesus head. You know, so we weighed out his gold jewelry. He had like, I don't know, like 2.5 pounds of gold jewelry on him.
Wow.
And so he was obviously a dealer. So we vouched his money as evidence and forfeiture. Obviously, the heroin was there for evidence. Forfeiture on the gold jewelry, and then forfeiture on the brand new, still having a temporary tag on the back SUV, which he insisted wasn't his, it was his girlfriend's. So all in all, we probably cost this guy probably between the street value of the drugs, the gold, the car, I don't know, 75,000 right there. So that was a nice size bust. But I worked in South Bronx. You didn't really see too many people carrying around a lot of cash. Most of our dealers at the time, most of them, not all of them, but most of the actual dealers were usually homeless people that they would lock behind a gate, and the homeless person would sell drugs for 2 hours,
and then they'd get hit off with
some drugs. Yeah. And this way, if any, nobody in the import and the drug crew would actually take a hit. If you got somebody with serious felony weight, it was usually you stumbled into it like that. We had another one where we actually saw a hand-to-hand through a gated window. We were just sitting up the block in our patrol car, me and my sergeant and another cop. And he's like, "Did you see that? You just passed out." And he goes, "Yeah, it's a paper bag." He goes, "I'm just during a crack epidemic." He goes, "That's a crack location. I can guarantee you that's crack." And if you pull up to, can't search for it, but we can do an investigation. We can talk. And if we pulled up to this guy, he took his bag and threw it under a car and tried to run. So my partner grabbed the guy who was trying to run. I recovered the bag, and in the bag were 250 vials of crack. All taped together. You stumble into that stuff back then. D&D and cop stories. What a good Saturday night.
Saturday night special.
If you actually, yes. Hold on a second. I'm going to put something in. I'm going to put a link. Hopefully, I'm spelling it right. I think I am. I have a blog that is hasn't been updated in years. But if you like honest to God, true cop stories, written in an amusing manner, because that's how I tell my stories, but these are all true stories, go to Saturday Night Special.blogspot.com. These are my stories of the South Bronx in the late 90s. I mean, you can make this shit up, but there was no need to, because I couldn't make up anything that was amusing
Life
as
itself was.
life itself was. Yeah, it really was. Spot on. It was the best years of my career were my early on.
Yeah.
It also didn't, you weren't able to stay in a relationship because you weren't a cop when you were dating this girl. Now you were a cop. You're dating the same person. They, in this case, happened to be a nurse, and it's like, I guess I can't tell her I got stuck with another needle. It's like my fourth needle in the last 6 months.
Oh man!
Because they don't want,
especially at that time.
Yeah. Oh God. I think in general, one of us got stuck on a weekly basis.
Yes, I mean you would think that. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, and that's when
you get stuck. This is just part of the.
Yeah, it was just part of the job. You get stuck. You're like, all right, hold on a second. Yeah, Sergeant. All right, yeah, we'll call the sick desk and get you an exposure number. And you can call them. So if you get hepatitis or whatever else from it now, it's like, oh well, you've got an exposure number, so it's job related.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like otherwise stupidity related. I guess I don't know how.
Your own behavior.
Your own behavior. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but that's why we would, give the speech after you've been stuck a number of times. You can't give the speech like, all right, this looks like somebody who could have a needle on him. Sir, if you have any needles, stems, crack pipes, I'm going to ask you to tell me where they are. And then I'm going to ask you to slowly take them out of that pocket. And there's a sewer right in front of us. And you're going to be able to place it in that sewer. And if you place it in that sewer, you will not be charged with whatever it is you're disposing of. And I already had them for whatever other charges there was. I wasn't looking to get them for paraphernalia. And 9 times out of 10.
Did they do that here?
Not, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 9 times out of 10. First, if it had residue. Yeah.
Okay.
It was just more drug test. But I was like, you know what? My safety, their safety, probably 9 out of 10 times, they actually complied and did it. And then things went on much easier, much more sane. And then that being said, again, I really enjoyed my career, and even toward the end, I was enjoying what I was doing. I enjoy retirement so much more. I will say that, because I get to do more for the gaming community, more with the gaming community.
Yeah, for the community, for the family.
Yeah, I mean, yes, when I was working, I was putting up, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 blog posts a day. Don't ask me how I could do that. I don't know. But in retirement, I get to do videos. I get to do blog posts. I get to write material. I get to cover news. I get to do live streams with other gamers or other creators. I could never find time to do all that stuff I was working, especially the live streams.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing. And at the age of like 25, if you'd asked me if I was going to become a cop, I would have laughed at you. And then for a time before I was 29, I was a cop. So you don't always know what direction your life is going to take. Sometimes life starts pushing in a certain direction, and it's the right direction to go in. I'm very happy with the end results. I hope Rach is.
Yeah.
But she'd already dealt with broken toys from my department before she met me, so she already knew cop culture. So she's like, he's not that broken. So what else we're going to cover today? I guess like today, I took my son's fiance out driving. She's going to be getting her road test in 2 weeks. I took her the trick that was used on me. Took her to a local cemetery because it's less traffic, but you still have your stop signs, you still have your turns. You are forced to judge curbs and where you are in the middle. She's had a couple professional lessons, but there's a way to teach, and usually, in my opinion, is less stress. And she was learning to drive in the Bronx. Putting
in
her
a very
just
congested with cars, people,
yes.
everything.
So this was
shops. She lives by a lot of shops.
yeah. So this was an easier way to get her an hour behind the wheel, and by the time we wrapped up, she was feeling much more comfortable and confident, which is I think what you need
Yes.
to be able to drive, because she's gonna need it, because she'll be moving out of state.
Mm-hmm.
And when you live in New York City, do you need to drive? And when I say live in New York City, I'm including the outer boroughs, and I know the outer boroughs are underserved by subways in general.
Yeah.
I understand all that, but
Queens is probably good because we have all the buses.
Right, and
We have a
Brooklyn
lot.
Brooklyn has Brooklyn has a lot of trains.
Yes.
So if you're on Staten Island, yeah, but here's the thing: you can literally. I didn't get my license until I was 28, because I was like, I'm becoming a cop. If I don't have the license, I don't get hired.
And I came here for the freedom that public transportation would offer me as someone who can't drive.
Right. So if I was growing up in the Poconos, I would have had my license by the time I was 17.
Mm-hmm. Right. But it's just in the country, it's more of like a developmental, like milestone.
It's a necessity to go anywhere.
Yes.
And
it's your independence.
Yeah. So and everybody needs that. So in this case, Casey's going to be moving away from our type of an urban environment. She needs a license. So I'll probably take her out again next weekend, get her more time behind it. And I told her, and this has always been my attitude with these kinds of tests. I did her road test. I go, if you fail it, you get to take it again pretty quickly. She's like, yeah, no, I know. I go, so don't even go into it stressing whether you're going to pass or fail, because if you fail, you are literally going to be given the test that you failed over again. It's not like they changed the questions. It's not like they changed what you're going to have to do. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, but now you know what to expect. And I said to her, you're going to be brought. You're going to go to a corner. They're going to say left turn here, right turn here, right turn here, left turn here. Okay, make a broken K turn, whatever they call it now. They're going to tell you to parallel park. Couldn't practice parallel parking in the cemetery. That wasn't going to happen. But I did get her. I did get her to do a broken K turn in a tight roadway, so she really had to wiggle it and visualize the way the wheel was turning and where the car was going to be moving. Because when it comes to an act like driving, it's something similar to riding a bike. Is that once you, it's not about balance so much as it is knowing where spatially your vehicle is.
Almost like a proprioception in a car.
Yeah, the car becomes an extension of your body. Now, and in some cases, if you only drive one car and then you are driving a rental, it takes you a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
I am lucky because as a cop, I would go to work in my vehicle. I would then hop into one of 2 or 3 different models or a van, and you learned real quickly for your spatial adjustments to adjust to what you can see. So, but then today I had to consciously think of it, because as we were driving back to the house, and I was driving, I was like, I need to be able to show Casey what it looks like when she was taking her turns too narrow or turns too wide. So I had to consciously figure that out and then show it to her. And then she was like, oh my God, that's what I was doing? I'm like, yes. So
yes. Just like when I exercise with Alex, like she'll show me, you're doing this. I don't know if you're aware of it. Because, we all have like times where we don't know where everything is in space.
Right.
So like and then it's like, but the movement is this, and you're like, oh, okay, I see what I was doing wrong now. And then you try it again with a different awareness.
So I mean, those are little things that
Mhm.
you can, and actually in a way it's almost like GMing, right? Like when you get good at GMing, it's like being good at driving or good at riding a bike or whatever. It becomes an extension of you. It becomes natural. Our kitty is gonna tear
Look at
away.
it, scratch.
You're gonna tear it up even more, young lady.
Do it up, girl.
And it becomes
Scratch.
it becomes an extension of you. So we discussed this a little bit on Random Generator Party last night.
Oh yeah.
In a way, we were talking about bad players or annoying players and what their characteristics are. And I was talking about, well, this is the group that I game with. It's the group that you saw on the live stream. And I said, and we're all by nature game masters. We're all by nature people that expect to be part of, gathering all the attention, right? It focuses on you. If you're the game master, without you, there's no game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's focused on you. And I think we're all very strong players, but I think like strong players have to know when to take a step back because you don't want to overshadow others. So I'm always conscious of it, even though I play with very strong people personality-wise. It's like oh, I'm getting into a role. It's like, oh, I'm taking too much focus. Time for me to step back and let somebody else step up. That awareness is what you start having when you drive, to some extent. You have to have that natural awareness of, like Rach has seen this with me. Like when I go, I know a car is coming up on my side, and I don't consciously hear it, but my subconscious is hearing some kind of change, and it's already telling me what to expect and where to expect it from. So it's just little things.
Interesting stuff.
So what else do we mean to cover? Trying to think here. We might be wrapping up.
I think we know. I think we did cover.
I think we covered it. I think we covered it pretty much spot on. If you haven't, Gamers Health newsletter comes out on a weekend, usually on a Sunday. It might be a recipe. It might be a review of some products that we've been checking out. Usually, if it's going to be food stuff, it's going to be low carb friendly, I should say, not carb friendly. But it's stuff that allows me to hopefully stay within
to minimize blood sugar.
Yeah,
and me too.
Keep within the range. Keep within the range that's needed. So, other than that, folks, we are still in the midst of the endemic. Use your common sense. It's not going away.
Nope.
We're not going to discuss the possible sources of it, but
it's beyond the scope of this.
It's beyond the scope of this cast, but it's not going away. You're going to be probably be offered a shot on a yearly basis at this point. Just figure it's going to be more transmissible and less deadly as time goes on, or at least that's what it looks like. Other than that, folks, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I will be back again tomorrow with some random video on this channel. And Bad Mike and I are working on a guest for next Wednesday. We shall see who that may be. I'm not quite sure yet.
Cool.
All right, folks. Thank you all
Take
for
good
hanging
care.
out with us.
Thanks for watching.
And we will catch you in a week. Later.